Hey guys, so welcome to Big Bag Diaries, Season 1, Episode 1, Mashed Potato Dinner with a Fall Twist. So as you guys can see here, I have mashed potatoes, chicken, and pumpkin pie. You want to see how to make it? Keep watching. So for the pumpkin pie, you're going to need a pumpkin, a pie pumpkin to be exact, sugar, ginger, cinnamon, salt, allspice, nutmeg, cloves, heavy cream, salt. I use kosher salt for this recipe. You're going to need vanilla bean paste and some cooking spray. So first you're going to go ahead and cut your pie pumpkin in half and gut it. So take all those seeds and guts out. And make sure it's very, very clean. If you want to go at it with a bottle opener, you can totally do that. Next, you're going to get a cookie sheet and place some parchment paper on it, and then place the pumpkins lying flat. So I put it in the oven at 400 degrees for 50 to 55 minutes, and then it's done. Now for the chicken, I obviously have chicken. I have buttermilk, smoked paprika, ground pepper, garlic, salt, and honey barbecue sauce. So after you aggressively put the chicken on the cutting board, after washing it, you are going to dice the chicken, however big you want it or small. It's up to you. This is your dinner. And after we are done cubing, we are going to get a mixing bowl and pour in some buttermilk. And then you add whatever spices you like. Measure with your heart. I didn't measure anything. I didn't measure the buttermilk or the spices. Do what you please, honestly. So after you put in all your spices, you are going to mix it up. And then you're going to add your chicken. Make sure not to splash too much because it will be a little gross if you just splash it everywhere. But anywho, you're gonna massage your chicken in just so it all touches the marinade. And then you're gonna set it aside to marinate for at least 20 minutes. So now for the mashed potatoes. I didn't actually use the beef broth, but I did use everything else. I used parsley flakes, basil, uh, all the spices I liked, butter, and sour cream and cream cheese. So now you're gonna cut up your potatoes however you like. You don't have to cut them up if you don't want to. I just think that it's quicker to boil. But anywho, you are going to put this into some water on the stove and wait until it is fork tender and then take it out. So as you can see, the pumpkins are all set. You're going to wait until it is cool enough to touch with your hand but not cold, and then take off the skin. Now back to the potatoes. After they are fork tender, I put them in my food processor. You can use a potato masher if you'd like. I just didn't feel like it. Mostly because I couldn't find my potato masher. Then you're gonna add all your stuff. You're gonna add the sour cream, the butter, the cream cheese, and then all your spices. And then you're gonna go ahead and process it again. Make sure it's like a little bit smooth, but the first time you're done processing it before you add everything else, and then just get it as smooth as you like after you add in everything else. If you want to add more spices, do that, but taste test it before you take it out of the food processor. Should be smooth like this. Now back to the pumpkin. So after you take the skin off, you are going to put it into a food processor or a blender if you don't have a food processor, and pretty much just go at it until it's a puree. I left mine a tiny bit clumpy, but still pretty smooth. You can, do more if you'd like, but I am okay with it like this. So now onto the pumpkin pie. I got this recipe on TikTok, so I will be linking that below. But I put in the pumpkin puree, 2 cups, 3 eggs, 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, 3/4 cup of sugar, 1.5 tablespoons of cinnamon, 3/4 tablespoons of allspice, 3/4 tablespoons of ginger, a half tablespoon of kosher salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. So you're going to mix that all up, and then you're going to get your pie crust ready. I just put it in a muffin tin, and then you are going to fill up each cup. And for this part, I did not use the recipe that I found. I looked up another way to just make mini pumpkin pies rather than a regular pumpkin pie. So I put this in the oven at 400 for 16 to 20 minutes, closer to 20 minutes, but you just want to make sure it's not like jiggly. Like, it's okay if it's slightly jiggly, but not super jiggly, because then it's not done. So anywho, after the chicken is done marinating, I took it out of the batter and shook it in some cornstarch. And now I'm just going to grill it to my liking. And by grill, I mean use the pan that I got on TikTok Shop that has grill marks. So this is what the pumpkin pie will look like when it's done. It's not jiggly after it is set. So this is after you let it set, not after it comes out of the oven. And then I tossed the chicken in some barbecue sauce and cleaned up the plate, of course. And thanks for watching, and now on to episode 2.